Hello everyone, hello YouTube, this is Felipe, o Gato de Salto, and today I invite you to have a thought with me about racial issues and Samba. Okay, so this week I come to you again with a very polemic video. I'm very polemic these days. So I know wording is already a hot topic in this case, and that's why I decided to use for the purpose of this video Black and people of color, and I hope you all will be fine with it. Before we even start anything else, I would like to say that this video is not a video of Gato de Salto tells you about something. This video is an invitation for thinking together. It's like me thinking out loud and not me exposing the truth to you. Now, I also would like to say why I decided to do this video. Since the beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement, I've been thinking about it. How can I participate? How can I help? And after consulting a few very important names within the Samba culture who are Black or of color, I was rather advised to give the word to someone else from the community, from the Black community, or to stick to my area of expertise, which in this case would be diversity and the LGBTQIA+ community. But still, I felt like I needed to do something. And you probably think that I recently released a very hot video, a very, expressive video against unfairness in my ex-Samba school. And I got a message from a friend who I really appreciate from the US. And she told me she watched the video twice and she agrees with me in all the points that I said, and that she's very sorry for everything that I experienced. And then she was like, but since I'm a friend, I have to ask, I wonder if you would have spoken up for someone else if it weren't you who had been excluded from the school. I wonder if you would have spoken up for another unfairness that is not part of your reality. She referred to the Black Lives Matter movement, and I told her immediately, like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about what to do and how can I help, but I was literally afraid of doing the wrong thing. And that, people, brings me to the very first point of this video. I am, obviously, for many people, a white man. And I recognize that I have been privileged in the society because of all the structural racism that there is. I and my parents and my grandparents, we have been privileged, and I am really well aware of the white supremacy and what that means within our society. If you don't know what white supremacy is, don't worry. I'm going to leave a link to an interesting article in the description box of this video so you can read more about it and find out. I'm also going to leave a link down here about white privilege because it's important you understand what that is. And it is important for me to say that yes, I studied in private schools. I was given the chance to learn foreign languages. I speak 5 languages. I studied abroad from my country. I concluded university studies. And today I'm here talking to you. I was not aware, or at least not consciously aware, of this white supremacy that I have the privilege to experience in my life. And I would like to say in this moment that I feel terrible about people who have to go through the world, seeing the world with different eyes, being exposed to different perspectives, and who do not enjoy this white privilege that I have for being a white man. So many white people all over the world, including myself before, is being held back for fear, held back from speaking up and from actually sharing how the white privilege that they have influenced their lives. Fear of saying the wrong thing. After considering a very long time, I thought that, well, if I do have this white privilege and I do have this channel and the voice that was given to me, I might as well use it to talk about the right thing. Samba is an African diasporic art form. What does that mean? A diaspora is basically when people leave their home country, a large number of people, and go somewhere else. In this case, I'm obviously talking about slavery here, so it's basically a forced diaspora. Samba is a mixture between African elements and European white elements that happened in Brazil, and this is why Samba is 100% originally Brazilian. Yes, that is true. However, we need to go back further in time and have a look at the really founding elements of Samba as a music, as a culture, as a dance. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated, because if we take for consideration the European culture, the way Europe and many other continents and civilizations keep track of their history is by writing down. Many African cultures, folk groups and civilizations kept their traditions orally. So there are no registers, there are no written registers about how the drums were played and how the drums influenced daily life and what they meant. So you will not find musical notes about how those drums were introduced into the African culture or were born within the African culture. You won't find that. Still, we all know that the drumming is basically the base of Samba dance and music. And that drumming is correlated with the pulsing and the beat of the surdo drum, which is the biggest one and a very bass sort of sound. So we get a sound impulse, a pulsation that is not written anywhere as a musical note. And that is the base of Samba. All white European elements that were introduced to Samba were introduced at a later stage and could actually even be considered aesthetic. They were just an addition, but the base is the African drums, and we all know that, and we all feel it. We feel it in our guts when they're playing. Samba is still very, very marginalized today in Brazil. The Black community and the community of people of color are still looked down upon. The Samba culture is still looked down upon. Being from the Samba community is still looked down upon. I remember, if I am in Brazil and I say that I am a Samba teacher abroad, or that I'm a Samba specialist, or that I'm a Samba reference, people don't understand. They can't really grasp the meaning of that. For them, it's like, what? What do you mean? How can you, it's Samba. Even when I was younger, in my circle, my social circle, as I said, I studied in private schools. I wouldn't say, oh, I'm a proud sambista, or I'm a proud pagodeiro. I wouldn't even associate myself with that culture. As a teenager, I didn't know. I was just like, I know that's not for me. I don't like that. You like that? Even without knowing what Samba was, I already had this prejudice in my head that Samba is not something positive. And this also reflects deeply into the society. It's a racist society that we have in Brazil. Is there racism within the Samba culture? Yes, and there is a lot. I can't talk about that myself because I haven't experienced it. I haven't also seen it, but I remember of something that happened that was all over the media, and I would also like to share with you. This has to do with one of the biggest symbols that we have to represent Brazilian carnival within Brazil. It's called the Globeleza. I will probably have to make a video about Globeleza as well, but basically it's an iconic woman who is painted and who dances basically just painted on TV a few weeks before Carnival, sort of to get everybody in the mood, since Carnival also became, commercially important with all the goods that are sold and all the costumes. So basically it was a way that the TV channel Global found to get everybody in the mood for carnival when hey, what costume you're gonna wear? So we had the figure of the queen of carnival, the Globeleza, on our TVs every day on the weeks before carnival. And of course, young girls, and even me, I would look up to Globeleza and I aspire like, wow, one day I would like to be a Globeleza. Of course, I will never be a Globeleza. And in 2013, a Globeleza named Nayara Justino was elected by a panel of judges on national TV. It was a competition as the next Globeleza. And of course, she was super happy, and that was on national TV. And they started the photo shootings, the recordings, until that clip, that's the short clip of Nayara Justino, was released and broadcast for the entire country. That's when the racist attacks and comments started all over because of the color of her skin, the darkness of her skin. The Globeleza has always been a mulatta, but never has a Globeleza been that dark before. People started complaining, and Global simply removed the crown and the title of Nayara Justino and replaced her with another Globeleza who was also a beautiful woman of color with a lighter skin. This was a huge scandal everywhere. The Guardian from the United Kingdom actually made an 8-minute long documentary on the topic. So if you do have 8 more minutes to after you watch this video, please check the link I will leave in the description box with this video. So I invite you now to think with me about a couple of things. I am a white man and I make money and I spread a culture that is basically an African diasporic art form and culture. Do I have the place to do this? Is it my right to do this? Am I doing something wrong? This is what got me to think. And I think before anything else, we should think of how Samba is viewed now in Europe and all over the world. I am going to talk about Europe because I live in Europe. I have more contact to European Samba schools. And I was just reflecting, many of the Samba schools here are majorly white. England is a different case. I'm sure there's still a lot of race issues within the Samba community in England, but I'm talking about the region in Europe where I live, so Austria, Germany, Hungary, Czech Republic, the Scandinavian countries sometimes, I'm talking about the area where I mostly travel to, and many Samba schools are predominantly white. So here I am as a white man working with Samba and supplying the culture that is an African diasporic culture to other white people. And I was like, why aren't there more black people or people of color within the Samba scene in Europe? It can't be only because there's more white people in the population, generally speaking. And then I started thinking, okay, are the Samba schools welcoming? And I was like, maybe, but I need to express this with an example that you might understand. I don't know. I am a gay man. So let's suppose there is a new restaurant or bar that just opened up around the corner of my house, and most of the clientele that goes there are very masculine men. They wear black and they have a full beard, and and that's the clientele of the bar. I question myself, would I feel comfortable to go there for a drink dressed as Gato de Salto? Would I feel comfortable to go there with my partner for a couple of drinks or for a romantic whatever moment? I can say that I would probably not feel comfortable to do this. I am not here trying to express prejudice against men who are very masculine, wear black and have a full beard. This is not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I would feel more comfortable to attend if I saw that there's a rainbow flag in the window or representation, that I would feel welcome in such a place, you know? Of course, I'm not trying to compare the struggles of the LGBTQA plus community and the struggles of the Black community and the people of color community. We don't have the weight of slavery on our shoulders. Structural racism is so strong that some people are not given the chance to perform certain jobs or to attend certain education institutions. We, from the LGBTQI plus community, we have access to education. We might be denied a couple of jobs, but it's not comparable. So I sort of switched that around and was reflecting about the Samba community. If I were a Black person or a person of color in the most predominantly white country, and a Samba school was there next to my house, a Samba school where all members are white, or most of the members are white, and I don't even know what Samba is because that's not my, I've never been exposed to it, would I feel welcome? Would I feel that I can actually go and join that group of people? For me, as a gay man, the picture I painted of those masculine men with full beards and white and black t-shirts and, rough looking, they represent the oppressors that I had in my life, the people who attacked me and who harassed me back when that happened and still nowadays. So I wonder how people of color and Black people would look at European Samba schools. Okay, Felipe, I get the picture. I think my Samba school is very open to all races and we welcome everybody. Yes, I'm sure you are, and but how can we actually create a safe and welcoming environment to people who are historically entitled to that diasporic art form that we use to express ourselves? I think the most important thing to do is definitely to research about the culture, to express the culture. So and spirituality, here you go. You need to know about the spirituality that comes with Samba. We can have pictures, we can have paintings on the walls that includes people with different skin colors, with Black people included, with people of color included. So even if there are no members within the school, we can definitely say, look, this is an orisha, this is a religious figure from an African culture, which is the base of the rhythm and of the dance and of the cultural aspects of the things that we do here within this association. So I invite you to think whether or not you do have these type of representations within your Samba school and within your dance group. Okay, Felipe, so maybe not. What can we do? Well, as I said, look for the culture, express the culture. If you do have a physical space for your quadra, for your Samba school or dance group, make sure you put up pictures and photos, share on social media, people of color, Black people, and more aspects of this African diasporic art form. So it's not only about you and your members, who might be predominantly white, I don't know, I'm just talking generally here. We can also do fundraisings for anti-racist organizations. Like, there are many things that we can actually do. This brings me to a very important point as well. Today is no longer enough not to be racist. We have to be anti-racist. We have to fight against the racism in every possible scale, especially if we are so deeply involved with the African diasporic art form. We have to practice cultural humility. We have to be humble, and we have to understand we need to use our white privilege, our voices, the education that we had access to, or the structure that we have within our governments that allowed us to create dance groups and Samba schools to fight racism. Felipe, so basically, based on what you said today, if I am white and I am a lover of Samba and I practice Samba, I'm not entitled to and I should stop. Maybe that's correct, but I personally believe that would just divide us even more. Through art, we express ourselves. Through art, be you a musician, a drummer, a samba dancer, you connect yourself with yourself. You embody your values, your principles. You are whole and strong when you express yourself through art, when you practice art forms. And we need people to be strong. We need to be whole, to have a clear of mind. We need to be inspired by this art form, in this case Samba, in order to recognize our white privileges and in order to raise our voices against all the unfairness that has been going on against Black people and people of color all over the world. So should we stop practicing Samba? Am I, Felipe Gato de Salto, stop going to be teaching Samba? No, I will continue. I'll inspire myself, I'll inspire others, and if I'm ever confronted with any form of racism, I will speak up, and I'll continue speaking up, just like I am doing now with this video. So as I said, I did supply you with a few facts, and I led you in a reflection that has been going on within myself. And I invite you to continue this conversation with me. So of course you can leave a comment below here on this video, but if you really would like to share your point of view and you know, keep the discussion going, I would be glad and happy to do that. You can contact me via private direct message on my Instagram account, Gato de Salto, and we can continue debating this very sensitive topic that must be spoken about. And I also invite you to start this conversation and the discussion with your friends, with your dancers, with your musicians, with your drummers, just so we speak about it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I could incite you to think more about the topic and perhaps to take action yourself within your community. I hope to see you next time with another perhaps polemic, perhaps not polemic video about our amazing Samba world. Bye.